Thanks for joining today. My name is Matt Madawi. I'm a solution architect based out of Texas with Megaport, and I'm here to talk about MCR and private multi-cloud, which is our Megaport cloud router, if you're not familiar with it. But first of all, let's talk about what is Megaport so we can try to establish a level playing field, right? So we like to think of ourselves as a hyperscaler of network connectivity on demand. What does that mean? Everything is pay for what you use, it's point and click, it's all secure on our private backbone. We can connect you to any of the clouds that you want to connect to. So AWS, GCP, Azure. Overall, we connect up to 2,800 enterprise businesses. We have, more than 400 cloud on-ramps. We're in over 950 physical data centers and 100 different data center operators. And we also have a marketplace where Megaport customers can offer their services so you can connect with them privately. To give you an idea of what we are, I'm going to break down what we're not. So we're not a last mile provider. We're what's known as middle mile. So from a colo, when I said we're in 950 data centers, if you're not in the data center, then you'll need like a private circuit to the nearest Megaport enabled data center. And then from there, you can use Megaport to connect to any of your clouds or anywhere else that you wanted to go. The easy button, though, is, of course, is if you're already in the colo and we're in Megaport, all it is a simple physical cross connect. It's a single mode fiber on LR optics. To give you an idea of the overall portfolio and where they fit in, let's go through a quick topology. So let's say you're in Dallas, Texas, in a CyrusOne facility, and you wanted to connect to a cloud. You can very easily, so you spin up a Megaport, and you can use that to connect to AWS. We recommend the nearest on-ramp. We have one in Dallas. And what that means is you get to the nearest on-ramp, and then from the on-ramp, you'll ride the carrier's backbone to whatever region that your resources are located. Taking things a step further, let's say you also had sites in Atlanta and in Chicago, and you also wanted to connect those to the cloud. That's also very straightforward. Additionally, so every port can have up to 100 VLANs or virtual cross connects, VXCs is what we call them. You can also connect your ports together very simply. And it's just as easy to connect Dallas to Chicago as it is Dallas to Sydney. It takes seconds in the Megaport platform. Now, the element I want to talk to about today is going to be the MCR. Where that fits in is if you had, let's say, your application in AWS or Azure and your database in Oracle, the MCR fits right there. Finally, the last access port product that we have is called the Megaport Virtual Edge. And we use that to sort of be able to allow or enable your SD-WAN or your next generation firewalls. So, moving forward, the question is, why MCR? Why can't I connect my clouds directly? And you can. You could connect them through VPN tunnels, but if you're talking privately, you need some sort of intermediary. So think about like express route circuits or fast connect with Oracle. It's just switches, right? If you were to connect two switches together, you'd have to negotiate the VLANs, as well as you need some sort of layer 3 device. And that's where the MCR comes in. With the power of the Megaport platform, you're connecting privately between the two. The advantages of connecting privately, there's several. Obviously, you get that performance, from versus going through the internet, right? This best effort. You also build at much lower rates for egress data. Um, Overall, private connections are always going to be better than public once you start to scale out. So, private connections need some sort of intermediary, and that's where the MCR fits. The other thing that MCR provides is some routing control. So yes, you can control, what sort of routes are advertised into the clouds and out of the clouds, but especially when you're talking about multi-cloud environments, you know, being able to do prefix list filters are is very advantageous when you're talking about very large networks. Uh, so that's it for slides. Let me go ahead and take you into um, a topology. All right, actually, you know what? Let's look at our portal just to see how easy it is to deploy an MCR, and then I'll do a topology to sort of set everything up. So here in our portal, when you first log in, this is the Megaport portal. We have our dashboard. This is a demo environment, but we have all of our points of presence. So we're very heavy in North America, EMEA, and Asia Pacific. And this is part of those 950 data centers that we were talking about. So in this particular instance, I want to set something up between Azure and Oracle in Chicago. So, from a topology standpoint, our whole platform is meant to be flexible and scalable. So you can cable it up however you want to fit your use case. So in a scenario like this, you have two MCRs. So for MCR, in order to avoid any sort of single point of failure, our best practice is high available pairs deployed in the same metro, and they would be in different data centers, so completely different physical power paths into and out of the data center, that sort of thing. And you can connect them, either dually, so like uh, multiple VXCs to the same express route circuit, like in this scenario, or you can do it where you have singular connections. So it's the same express route circuit, but split between two different MCRs. And then on the Oracle side, Oracle is always going to be single threaded, but you can do redundant circuits. But just to give you a brief view of the capabilities. So the MCR, a port can connect up to 100 different VLANs or VXCs. The MCR can do 25. So that means multiple clouds. You can also connect them to ports. Um, just to give you an idea. So like in this scenario, if you had an on-prem, the advantages here would be if you didn't have capability to do BGP on-prem, that's very common. We deploy the MCR, so you can do the BGP between your clouds, and then they can route statically to their on-prem. The other advantage of this type of scenario is reducing some of your links. So instead of having your on-prem connect to all the clouds, you have your clouds connect to your MCRs and then a singular connection to the MCR. So the MCR acts as a hub. It reduces your connection count. Obviously, for two clouds, it's not so bad, but once you start getting to 3 and 4 clouds, really starts to add up the complexity, and the MCR can manage all of this. Also, It's good to note that the MCR is a full stack router, so it includes licensing. It's fully managed in the Megaport portal and has all the capabilities that you would need, like BGP, can do route filtering. Uh, we have a new function called packet filtering. So if you wanted to add some sort of ACLs, you can add that as well. So let's jump back into the portal. We're going to go ahead and deploy one. In preparation for this, I actually deployed the blue MCR, but we're going to talk to the red MCR. So, on the upper left is our access products. This is the port, the MCR, and the Megaport Virtual Edge that we talked about. We're going to go to the MCR and let's look at Chicago. And so, as you can see, there's several different sites in Chicago that we offer the MCR. And let's look at ORD10. And since our other MCR was a blue, we want to look at a red MCR. So that's speaking towards the diversity zones, like we mentioned. And actually, this is not the one I wanted. Let's go. The reason I wanted to talk to this other site in Chicago. Um, we now have capabilities to support up to 100 gig within certain sites. It's a new platform for us and enables up to 100 gig in throughput. But you can deploy them from 1 to 100. In this case, we're going to do 10. We're going to call this red MCR. And we're in the red zone. All of our terms are flexible. You can do month to month up to 36 months. It's more important to note the longer the term is, of course, the cheaper it gets. And you want to select your ASN. And so here's a summary. We got a red MCR at 10 gigs. I've selected a private ASN. And just a quick summary, you click Add MCR. And it kicks it off to your shopping cart. Click Preview Order and order now. So you'll see in a few seconds, this MCR is going to spin up and it's going to turn green. And once that's up, you can start provisioning your circuits. It's as simple as either clicking this Add Connection or clicking one of these tiles. So I'm going to go to set up the Azure side first. Actually, you know what? I'll do the Oracle side. That takes a little bit longer. What you need is your OCID. So I'm going to shoot to my portal. And we're going to copy this OCID here. And paste it. And so we have multiple NNIs with Oracle, and you can see them here with the red or blue diversity zones, which you want to stack them. So if we're ever doing any sort of scheduled maintenance, we would never take down both zones in the same metro at the same time. So red to red and blue to blue. You have your choices here. So both of them are very quick. You can see there's the latency to the on-ramp. That's not the latency to wherever your physical resources are located, because we're only responsible to the on-ramp, and then the cloud, their backbone can take you wherever your stuff is. So we're going to do red to red. I'm going to click next, give it a name. Red. I. rate limit, we're gonna do 50 since we're in a demo. So on the Oracle side, it's a little bit more manual. Have to give it an IP address. 30. And then you have to add your interface, or I'm sorry, your BGP attributes. And the ASN from Oracle will be under your BGP information tab, 31898. Every cloud does things a little different, and that's also another reason to use the MCR because a lot of these things also change, and you would want a platform that can adjust. So I think that's it there. Click add, next. So you can see, the router is fully managed in the Megaport portal. Here's just a summary. I'm going to click review. So it's important to note that the actual fast connect doesn't kick off until you hit this order now button. So you can put things in your shopping cart and save them for later if you're not ready to order. But we've initiated this. So Megaport is going out and interfacing with the Oracle API to negotiate the link. And you can see this guy is already ready since it's green. Now let's add the connection to Azure. It's as simple as pasting the service key, which I've already gone through my Azure portal and generated. So Azure, if you guys aren't familiar, they're a little bit unique in that they require two different virtual cross connects, and that's for physical diversity on their side. So the micro Microsoft uh, Enterprise Edge routers, and the way you set this up, use the same key twice because it'll pull up two different on-ramps. There's a red and a blue. And as I mentioned, you want to stack the red ports or MCRs with your red on-ramps. And also it won't let you use two blue on-ramps. You can only use one. You can see my blue one is already tied up. So we're gonna call this red Z. Next. So the Azure side is a bit quicker. It's much more automated. As I mentioned, it kind of your experience is gonna vary cloud by cloud. So we're gonna click review order and order now. So we got both of those guys cooking now. Let's take a look at this side here. So this is my blue MCR with my blue OCI and my blue Azure. And if you click on this function, this is our looking glass. And you can see here my Azure side, the BGP is green. So that means if there were routes to be received, we would get them. There's something going on with the OCI side. So let's take a look. That looks like the right here. So let's go back and see if we can find out what's going on here. So this has the array limit and the contract terms. We have our interface. So let's look here. Oh, okay. So this is important. The first VXC, which is the one that uh, this is configured for. The IP address is .1. And I believe I need to change it to .5. So let's see if we can edit that. Uh, so this is I think we gotta edit this. All right. I think we just have to create a new. All right, update and click save. And then we'll want to delete this guy. So these interfaces are specific to the VXC. So looks like we're here. The one thing about, cloud computing, of course, is portal delay. It takes a little bit for the actual configs to show up in the portal. So that'll take a little bit. Let's take a look at the other side. So we see this guy going. Let's just double check and see. Yeah, I think this is not the right one. Um, but you can see here that the VXC could be green and BGP could be down. So this is more just a status of the availability. And you can see this one has BGP up. And so now BGP is up here. And BGP is down here. So I just had to switch the interfaces. Let's go ahead and do that. Fun times at BGP. You know what? I did it wrong. It's that portal delay. But you can see, I mean, it's super easy to configure. And go back here. So looking now in this, and you can see BGP is up on both sides. Let's look in Oracle. So we have BGP up here. This guy is still down. It'll take a second for it to register. And then if you want to look at the Azure side, it'll show Megaport provision appearing in Chicago. And let's refresh this page here. And you can see this is our peering information. So the other thing that's cool about the MCR, it'll do the Q and Q. So it's simulated for you. If you look here, we have a peering VLAN of 100 on the MCR side. If you go in on the under the VXC, we have Q and Q enabled because for those that aren't aware, Microsoft likes to make things a little bit more complicated sometimes, and they require Q and Q. So we have our VLAN there for the Azure peering VLAN, and that is all she wrote. Hopefully, you guys found this a little fun, a little bit informational. Uh, my name is Matt Madawi. You can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, and happy to help you guys.